Hi, everybody. I think this is the first time I've been on here since the election. It's been a few days, and there's a lot of things that I'm seeing. I'm seeing there's people out here that are still not getting it. They're still not getting it, and it's like they're not even trying to find out why. But you know what though? One thing is for sure, my vote is that I did was with clear conscience. The reason I wanted to rock my Jill shirt again today is because you know what? I don't regret it one. I don't regret it for 1 second. I don't regret my vote. This vote right here, it felt like, and I've made it felt one of the best stuff that I've ever felt. One of the best casts I've ever, one of the best votes that I ever cast was Tuesday, because it was saying, okay, you stand up against the establishment. You're going against a corrupt system. You're saying that you're not going to accept being gaslighted by the Democratic Party. They rigged the debates against us. They did everything that they could to defy us in this election. They did everything that they could to undermine us. And now, they don't know what hit them. They don't know why Donald Trump won the presidency. They don't realize why. The reason Donald Trump won the presidency isn't just that he won. It's that the Democratic Party lost it. They screwed this up. They destroyed progress. They destroyed progress. The Democratic Party, we need a civil war within the Democratic Party, because things are going to be different going forward. You guys want out. There's no more loyalty to any party anymore. There's no more us voting for you guys blindly without anything in return. We're no longer going to be treated like a side piece anymore. Corporate donors always expect something in return when they give you guys money. Corporate donors, before they spend millions and billions of dollars on an election, they always want something in return. And I don't blame them. So why should we not want anything in return for our vote? And that's what we showed them. And then the Democrats out there that are everywhere blaming us are just going crazy right now. As if we owed you all anything. The way you gaslighted us, I had people even in my own area, within my own city. There was a Hillary Clinton delegate gaslighted me. Not only did they gaslight me, but you know what they did? They disrespected me every step of the way. As if saying, you know what, you'll never work with me. You're just childish. You're just naive. Y'all don't know what y'all want. Bernie supporters don't actually go out and vote. But then you wanted us to help you in the general. You didn't need us in the primary. You rigged that. What happened in the general? You, See, this is what happened in 2008. Hillary Rodham Clinton got comfortable, and then Senator Barack Obama came by and just out of nowhere, bam! She didn't know what hit her. And by the time she realized what hit her, she started with the birther movement. Yeah, I'm going to go there. She was the first to start that. And then she started with I'm going to stay in the race until June because Robert Kennedy was assassinated in June. I'm going to go there. Those are the facts. You see, what they don't realize is what they did was ignore the electric. They ignored the electric. The corporate media is so out of touch with regular people. They so out of touch. Listen, you remember when Gary Johnson said, what is Aleppo? But I'm not gonna say the average person didn't care about Aleppo. When you go out in the streets and you say Syria, the average American know what's going on. But what we find out is the average American didn't really care about what the corporate media cared about. Gary Johnson got 4 million votes, folks. 4 million votes after the corporate media said his campaign came unraveled. Actually, he performed pretty well, in my opinion. He performed pretty well. And the point I'm trying to make is the corporate media is worried about one thing, but they're clueless about what's going on in the country. They're clueless about what's going on in real America. They inside their bubble, and they never get out of it. They trapped inside the bubble. The same way they was trapped inside the bubble with Senator Bernie Sanders. Oh, that's just pipe dream stuff. He's not gonna win. He's not a real Democrat. And again, they ignored what's inside the bubble. They thought you guys out there, they thought you and I would vote for Hillary Rodham Clinton one way or another. They thought that they could gaslight us, and eventually we was going to come around their way, and then we was going to actually vote for her. But we had news for them. And we're not here to praise a Donald Trump presidency. That wasn't what it was all about. Because we didn't vote for any one of those two clowns. We didn't vote for any of those two clowns. But what we find out is, or what the DNC find out is, those childish Bernie supporters had some news for them, didn't they? When we said Bernie a bust, we meant that. When we said Jill a bust, we meant that. It wasn't about disliking a candidate. It's about this. It's about one candidate spoke to the issues that we care about, and one candidate didn't. We're no longer interested in someone telling us that they want to try to fix the death penalty when we know it's flawed. When we know that we have prosecutors in place that are overzealous that we cannot trust. We're no longer interested in someone being iffy when it comes to things like the TPP. We're no longer interested in someone being silenced on the pipeline. Have you guys heard any statement on Hillary Rodham Clinton on what she thinks when it comes to that pipeline? Nothing. We're no longer interested in someone telling us that we're unrealistic when we know that we're a nation that's monetary sovereign, when we know that we can afford these things. We know that we're a nation that is debt denominated within its own currency. I had someone recently want to tell me that the Rothschild, hey, you got some morons out here that say the Rothschilds own the Federal Reserve. I'm done. I can't with those type people. I'm not even going to try anymore. It's worthless. We have people out here, when it comes to the actual movement, worthless. You have people out here that ask for facts, ask for you to back it up. You give it to them, they're too lazy to even read it. And then they're going to sit here and whine about Hillary Rodham Clinton not winning the presidency. If you're really concerned about progress, if you're really serious about progress, just take a moment, take a breath, and try to figure out why the election went the way it did. Everyone that voted for Donald Trump isn't racist. They're not. And I am disappointed in them electing someone that comes off as racist and made very racist statements. Just like I would have been disappointed if Hillary Rodham Clinton was elected someone who has lied to the American people. Not one time, not two times, multiple times, and has shown lack of character. So the two choices to us was just, in other words, was the same. And we was gonna, and it wasn't just about a protest vote. It's about we're gonna stand for what we believe in. And if anybody out there to tell us that we're wrong for standing for what we believe in, then you know what? They can kick rocks. I don't feel sorry for them. I don't feel sorry for voting for Dr. Jill Stein. I would do it over again. And one thing I did was I let my supporters know, we let all our supporters know that we are serious about what we say we're gonna do. There's none of this down for the movement, lead people one way, and then we just stray away and get bought out by the shield. That's what happened to a lot of the burners. That's what happened. I'm not gonna name any names, but there are a lot of people that was down for Bernie Sanders, got bought off to the shield, turned into a heel bought, as Steve called it, a heel bought, and then start silencing people for standing up for the very things that they once championed for. So here's how it's going to go going forward, especially to the DNC. If you guys want any ounce of our support ever again, things are different now. This is going to be on our terms. First off, if you want our support, you'll produce someone with a real progressive agenda, first off. Second, we're going to do this our way. We're going to take over the House and the Senate like the Tea Party did. And then you guys are going to answer to us because you're not in charge. We are. You can continue to try to defy voters. But as you see, it's not about one election cycle with us. And we are willing to lose an election to get real change that this country needs. We're willing to lose an election to get this through. Bernie Sanders said many times, he said in his view, in order to retain the White House, in order to regain the House and the Senate, establishment politics and establishment economics will not get the job done. And these guys, the DNC, ran an establishment candidate at the time where establishment politics was just a bad idea. They were tired of the same type of politics. They were tired of people just saying one thing and doing another. They're tired of that. It's not Trump's not the answer, but they were just willing to try anything. They were over it. They ignored the electorate. They had no clue about what was going on in Middle America, the real world. The people that they call naive and childish. That's what real America was feeling. Real America was feeling Bernie Sanders. He would have beat Donald Trump in a landslide. Period. End of discussion. You know, when I look at this, I look at these old memes. I look at these videos from the campaign when Senator Bernie Sanders was running, and there's Senator Bernie Sanders campaigning. I see him campaigning on the back of a pickup truck in New Hampshire, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, after he just won, after he narrowly lost the primary, after he narrowly lost. What state was that? I think it was. I can't remember. But it was the very first state. I think it was Iowa. He narrowly lost it. 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. He's campaigning on the back of a pickup truck, and I'm thinking, wow, that's what America looks like. That is the guy that's been fighting for civil rights, economic rights for over 40 years. He's genuine and he's real. And I said, then I'm going to do everything I can to make sure everyone knows about him. And we did just that. And when I look at these pictures, I see Senator Bernie Sanders in front of a crowd of hundreds of thousands of people. Young people, all gathered up there around a collection of ideas. They gathered around to see a 74-year-old socialist speak to their hearts, to the ideas that they care about. He rallied the country. He would have defeated Donald Trump in a landslide. And the DNC had these numbers. They knew that Senator Bernie Sanders was more popular. But you know what they said? They said, no, this is Secretary Clinton's turn. We're going to risk a Donald Trump presidency because it's her turn. We're going to take our chances and defy these voters. They don't know what's best for them. We'll tell them what to do. We don't care what they say. They're grown people. But you know what? We're going to actually shame them into doing what we want them to do. They'll be upset at first, but you know what? We'll make them eventually just come on along, do what you're told, and vote for Hillary Rodham Clinton. But these people were looking at them like, they was looking at them like Bernie a bust. And then they say, yeah, but you want Trump to win? They was like, Bernie a bust. Yeah, but this gonna Bernie a bust. They was like playing chicken. Bernie a bust. And then it turned into Jill a bust. No matter how much they tried to shame them, they were Bernie a bust. The Trump fear porn did not work. They were serious. We're serious about the issues we care about. And you know what? You guys better start taking us more serious, because you know what? It's going to be plenty more of this. It's going to be plenty more of us sticking to our values and not our fears. That game is over. So if you guys want us to support you guys, if you guys want any support from us, you got to give us a reason why. You can't just say you're a Democrat anymore. And you can't just say you're a progressive that can get things done, because you know what? It's not going to happen. You're not going to get our support without putting any policies behind it. Why would we vote for you? What are you going to do? How you feel about this? Well, how you feel about this bill? What do you want to do? What are your thoughts on this? You know, you want our votes, you got to work for it. You have to earn it. We're not going to get treated like the side piece, where you get to just come in and swoop in, get our vote in your back pocket, and then go to your big corporate donors, and they demand what they want, and you do everything you can to give them what they want, and then you ignore us because you know what? You feel like you got our vote anyway. Yeah. So we're no longer going to do that anymore. This is going to be on all terms going forward. We will get behind any progressive candidate that has a real progressive agenda. Period. That's what this is all about going forward. And if you guys think we're going to go back to sleep, we're not. If you guys think that what we learned, we're going to unlearn, we're not. We're not. We're not going to stop talking about economics. We're not going to stop talking about taxes not funding spending. We're not going to talk about we're a nation that's monetary sovereign. We're not going to stop talking about we're a country that's debt denominated in its own currency. So when you debt hawks out here want to start talking about cutting spending, we're going to have an army of people ready, willing to push forward, call you out on it, and even educate more people. We're done with it. We're done with trying to convince us that we're a nation that's broke. Trillions of dollars in debt. Do not send me a link of the debt clock, for Pete's sake, anymore. It has gotten like Bush. It has gotten very Bush League. The debt clock. Numbers on a spreadsheet. That's what it is. Numbers on a spreadsheet. The amount of money that the government spent versus the amount of money that the government taxed. Do not send us the picture of a debt clock anymore. This whole thing, and then you got these other morons out here that saying that the Fed owned, that the Rothschilds own the Federal Reserve, and then that's all they got. That's all they don't have anything to go behind it but that. They don't have a clue what they're talking about. They don't have a clue about economics. That's what we're dealing with, folks. That's what we're dealing with. And then we have people out here that are actually still saying, all you folks that didn't go out and vote. You still not getting it. The reason they didn't go, if they didn't go out to vote, they were so disgusted with the political process. I would never advocate not voting, but I'm not going to put this election on them. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to put this election clearly around the DNC. The Democratic Party built Donald Trump. You built that, own it. The Donald Brazils of the world. All you guys out there built Donald Trump. Even the people that criticized you and I called us pipe dream, called us basement dwellers. And what they didn't realize is what the majority of the country was ready for. When you call Bernie Sanders a socialist, when you call Senator Bernie Sanders not a Democrat, when you tried to make him out as being some crazy person. But you know what this was all about? You guys didn't want Donald Trump because you knew he would fight for us and not you. And you felt it was Hillary Rodham Clinton's turn. And in return, you get Donald Trump. You get Donald Trump. Now you're going to start, now, like I said, this is going to be on our terms going forward. And we got to keep pressure on these guys. We got to let these guys know that right now, you guys are not our friends. The Democratic Party at this particular moment is not our friends. And they've shown us that. And it's time for us to start realizing that and start believing who they're telling us they are. They are who we thought they were. That's what they are. This is not to say that I won't get behind another Democratic candidate. Like I said, we will get behind any candidate with a real progressive agenda. I won't even rule out getting behind a Democratic candidate in 2020. But it's got to be, like I said, on our terms with a real progressive agenda. The Green Party. It's time for the Green Party to get a ground game. It's time for the Green Party to be in the House and the Senate. It's time for the Green Party to get involved in local elections because you're not going to be able to just come up every 4 years. I voted for the Green Party. I like a lot of things the Green Party do. And I will support the Green Party. But you guys got to get a ground game. And you can. The people are tired of the same old politics. People have been saying enough is enough for a very long time. Those rallies out there that Senator Bernie Sanders had, those rallies out there, those was millions of voices saying, you know what? You're speaking to our hearts. You're speaking to the issues we care about. And the Democratic Party, they don't know. They had, listen, not only was Senator Bernie Sanders had took over, would actually won the presidency, but when you're talking about it, up and down ticket progressives coming into the House and the Senate. We just took the House and we probably would have made major strides towards taking the House and Senate back. Because you know what? Senator Bernie Sanders had coattails. You guys know what I mean by coattails? He had coattails. He was drugging a lot of progressives with him. A lot of progressives. Now we're stuck with being the party of opposition. And I embrace that moment. We said from the beginning, we'd rather fight Donald Trump for 4 years than deal with Hillary Rodham Clinton. Malcolm X said something. And this is kind of, sort of, it's similar, but it's not quite. Maybe it's be a little bit different. But Malcolm X wanted Goldwater to be the president. It's kind of what we've been asking for in some ways. Because he knew that would unite people together. We knew that a Donald Trump presidency would unite the left to where we can push for real change. All the ones out there that was useless zombies can now wake up. There have been people out there, guys that have been saying things like, you know what, I'm going to vote on every bill now. I'm going to pay more attention now. I didn't say anything. I just stayed quiet. Because you know what? We was right. It will unite the left. But Malcolm X wanted Goldwater. Malcolm X said, you know what? Goldwater would make the minorities and African Americans get out and stand up and fight for themselves. And what he meant by that was it would make them fight and be a part of the political process. Because Goldwater can't hide his racism. And Goldwater can't pretend to be our friend. He just can't do it. He can't help himself. That's what he said about Goldwater. And not to mention that, that's who Hillary Rodham Clinton was working for. But that's a whole other story. We're not going to get into that right now. But what I'm basically saying is a Donald Trump presidency can make people actually get out and become and unite the left. We need the left to be united. And if we unite the left and we put pressure on these politicians in Washington And when it comes to economics is king. I'm going to say this till the cows come home. Every dollar that's put into the economy is a new dollar. Every dollar that's taken out through taxes flushed down the drain. Flushed down the drain. Taxes drive currency. How do we get money into existence? Congress write a bill. Economics is king. We can't let these debt hawks cut spending anymore. We can't let these debt hawks continue to control the narrative. One thing about politics, guys, we have to control the narrative. You see, that's what they did when they was gaslighting us during the primary. The Democratic Party was controlling the narrative. This whole notion of, yeah, this just pipe dream talk. They're unrealistic. They are, Bernie can't win in the general. He's too far to the left to win in the general. The fact that Hillary Clinton lost to Donald Trump after having a two-term president who's very popular, after having all the entertainers, after having the DNC in the tank for her since the primary, giving her 500 superdelegates before the election even started, and you still lose. And then you had Senator Bernie Sanders, started 70 points down, overcame a 70-point deficit, and did beat her if they wouldn't have cheated. Wow. It shows how much she sucked as a candidate. This is not even trying to be funny. This is just giving that hard truth. The candidate, Senator Bernie Sanders, could go down as being one of the best presidents that we never had. Because of the DNC gaslighting us, underestimating what real America is thinking, underestimating it, thinking that you have it in the bag. That's what got us here. That's what built the Donald Trump presidency. That's what built that. So when you think about Donald Trump, when you talk about Donald Trump, just remember, you built that. Don't blame it on no one else. And as far as the protesting goes, guys, this was a fair election. What are you protesting about? Can you at least wait until a bill is passed or something before you start protesting? Where were you during the Democratic National Convention? Where were you when Bernie was getting screwed in the primary? Where were you? I've had it with this identity politics. I've had it with these people who want to just show up and make a statement after the election has already been called. I don't know. You have people out there saying, I've heard someone say something about Hillary Clinton in the Electoral College. I heard someone say something about in the Electoral College, you can make a case that it should be gone. I'm not going to sit here and argue with that. But they want it gone because of what happened. It was a Hillary supporter. My thing is, if Donald Trump would have won the popular vote and lost the Electoral College, would you be saying that Hillary should, be president? Probably not. The left needs to get off needs to stop being biased right now at the moment and get ready to fight and unite around something. That's what they need to do. Because right now all they're doing is pouting, blah blah blah, pouting when some of you are the very reason that this is happening. I've had Hillary Clinton supporter, tell me, you know what, Kendall, F you. I told him this is what Bernie said. He warned us. He said, F you and Bernie's warning. You know what? This is the exact reason why we have a Donald Trump presidency. Gaslighting us, ignoring the American voters. Ignoring voters has consequences, guys. You can't ignore voters in a democracy. It'll get you burned every single time. Especially when you come across a bunch of woke. Especially when you come across a bunch of woke people. I'm about to say something else for a second. Especially when you come across a bunch of woke people that are fed up and that are saying enough is enough. Because it was Senator Bernie Sanders out there, and there was Jill Stein out there that was talking to the issues that people care about and let them know who's on the same side of the issues that they care about. Dr. Jill Stein was the last progressive standard. And what we did was we voted for the last progressive standard. We voted for the candidate that was rocking with us. We voted for the candidate that we knew that we can count on. So all you guys out there that think we owed you anything, You didn't need us in the primary, so why were you looking for any assistance for us now? You said that we was basement dwellers and you didn't need our votes. So you know what? It is what it is. So going forward, guys, we have to stay strong, stay united, and don't fall back to sleep. And more importantly, now that the election is over, things are gonna get a little more boring now. But we got to stay on top. We got a lot of things to do. We got to watch what goes on in Washington. We got to watch what bills is trying that our elected leaders are going to try to push down our throats. We got to watch a lot of different things. We have to pay attention to all these things because now is the time where the real work starts. Really, we stay on this. We continue to build our movement. We take back the House and the Senate. We stack progressives, real progressives, in the House and Senate, and then we control the agenda. We do what the Tea Party did, but the Tea Party was a little bit had some things that I don't agree with about the Tea Party. A lot of the racist signs and things like that we don't agree with. But what the Tea Party did do was they took over Congress. We can do the exact same thing. We got the muscle. We got the strength to do it. Yes, we got the strength to do it. And now they're gonna know that they got to take us seriously now, because now it's no more voting for you just because you say you're a Democrat or a progressive. Them days are over. So going forward, you have to earn our vote. Regardless of whether we like you or not, we hold you accountable. And economics is king. We do everything we can to learn and become a student of economics, and definitely learn basic economics. So when they start gaslighting us and trying to say that, you guys just being unrealistic, we can't afford this. Oh, yes, we can't afford it, and we're going to tell you why. And we need to be able to go down and check, boom, boom, boom. This is why we can afford it. Every dollar spent into the economy is a new dollar. Our dollar is no longer pegged to gold. It's a monetary sovereign. We're monetary sovereign. We have a free-floating currency, and we have much more domestic policy space than you are leading us to believe. We know these things. We know these things. We're no longer interested in you guys trying to divide us up between red states and blue states. This is the United States of America. And progressives are coming around a collection of ideas that we believe in our heart. Because now a revolution is going to have to start. We need a revolution. We're part of a revolution. We believe that in order to get the things that we want to have in life, in order to get the things that our nation deserves, our generation deserves, and what the next generation deserves, we have to fight for it, stick to our values. And anyone out there that's telling you that it's your fault that you didn't vote for Hillary Rodham Clinton, make sure you let them know that this is clearly on the DNC fault. And it's probably a little of their fault too. If they call Senator Bernie Sanders unrealistic, it's their fault. It's their fault. So I want to take a moment to come and talk to you guys after we went through what we went through. And it's going to be interesting. But we're more woke now than we've ever been before. We emerge from this better. We emerge from this stronger. We emerge from this as a people that's bonded together, united, and we're going to prove that we are people capable of doing big things. So, with that being said, I'm Kendall Sullivan with Real Progressives, and I'm going to leave it there. Have a great night, guys. Peace, and I'm out.